Over in the pages of DC Comics, the publisher is about to wind down on the massive Night Terror storyline. For those not in the know, Night Terrors is centered around the character of Insomnia as he plunges the Earth into a deep slumber. Insomnia's ultimate goal is to find the Nightmare Stone in some of the dreams of the various DC heroes and villains. Over in the pages of Night Terror's Superman, readers got to see Clark Kent navigate some of his own nightmares as he traverses through the haunted nightly planet and battles the mysterious Super Reaper. My name is Arako Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and see how that last-second twist with Aquaman will affect the pages of Night Terror's Superman issue 2. Before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button over on our video. Superman and Supergirl team up in the Nightmare Realm. In this terrifying nightmare realm, Superman and Supergirl search for answers and the rest of the family. But Superman is pulled into a haunted part of Metropolis's past, where he learns more about Marilyn Moonlight. In the waking world, an unlikely DC superhero family works to save the world from these sleepless nights. Night Terror Superman issue 2 is written by Joshua Williamson, featuring art from Tom Reilly. We have colors from Nathan Fairbairn, letters from Ariana Maher, and I want to show off the cover from Gleb Melnikov over on Night Terror Superman issue number 2. As the solicit teased here, this issue features a team-up between Supergirl and Superman, which is, I think, kind of essential to the overall Superman franchise. In the context of Donna DC, the publisher is really trying to place an emphasis on the extended Superman family. I want to extend a quick thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting our preview over on Night Terror Superman issue 2. And here's a look over at some of Tom Reilly's incredible interior art over on this chapter. So I think Tom Reilly brings so many of the aspects that really made Night Terror Superman really stand out for me. Reilly uses so many great techniques in this issue, between negative space implemented on the nightly planet, as well as breaking down some of those panel borders like what we referenced over in the first page as well. The way that Tom Reilly continues to kind of shake up and test the medium of comics establishes him as one of my favorite artists among the great and vast Superman line over at DC. One of my favorite aspects of the issue was getting the opportunity to see Supergirl join in on the comic book page. And I think watching her kind of punch down some of the fears over in Clark's dreams is just a great way to kind of immerse her into the story in an interesting way. I think both Joshua Williamson and artist Tom Reilly kind of utilized their skills together to make the introduction of Supergirl one of the most important and intriguing aspects of the storyline. Both Tom Reilly and Joshua Williamson worked together to kind of subvert those existing DC stories and pull something really interesting here, referencing some key comic books like The Death of Superman. I also really enjoyed watching some of Aquaman's implementation into the story alongside Mera. We really got to see Aquaman go up against some of these Sleepless Knights over at DC Comics. I really think that artist Tom Reilly is able to render the Sleepless Knights with so much incredible precision throughout the issue. It was incredibly engaging to watch Aquaman go up against some of Insomnia's forces throughout the tale here. And I thought this chapter of Superman did a great job changing settings, going with a Western theme at some pages while still keeping the issue incredibly coherent and cohesive throughout the runtime here. Tom Reilly and Joshua Williamson cover so many bases across the series, even touching on some of the extending supporting cast over with the Aquaman family. Here we can see characters like Aqualad prominently illustrated over from Tom Reilly and placed firmly within the script over from Williamson. As the issue goes, it gets much darker in terms of some of the themes here, and watching Superman go up against the Super Reaper yet again, I think put a decided kind of next phase over on the series. Also, I want to take just a few steps back here in comments over on the art from Tom Reilly on these pages that we have up on the screen. Look at how many figures Tom Reilly is able to depict in this kind of 2-page sequence over in the issue. Watching all these kind of zombie versions of Supergirl in the background, I think gives so much context to Night Terrors. There is a lovely sense of cognitive dissonance here because I think that so much of Tom Reilly's art is usually so pleasant that watching him throw some monsters into the mix, I think really shakes up the dynamic of his artwork, especially in the greater context of Superman. There's one panel here with Marilyn Moonlight that we don't have included over on our preview. The way that Tom Reilly is able to render the negative space and really, I think, push the medium to implement so many different kind of postmodern techniques and intriguing ways to tell the story made Night Terror Superman one of my favorite Night Terror storylines among the vast sea of issues. And I think this issue also expands on some of the aspects of Night Terrors as we get to see Superman go back to the Hall of Justice for a really frightening cliffhanger over in this chapter. The final 3 panels, I think, implement a kind of core Dawn of DC element into this title, and I'm incredibly intrigued to see where Joshua Williamson and the rest of his collaborators are headed over with this intriguing cliffhanger. So at the end of the day here, I think Night Terror Superman is one of the best DC tie-ins, period. Due to the fact that Joshua Williamson is writing both this series and the main event, I had a great feeling that we were in for some excellent stories over in Night Terror Superman. And I think when I kind of look back on this title as a whole, I'm really going to remember Tom Reilly's art fondly throughout this comic book series. Watching Tom Reilly's art evoke horror within the context of a character like Superman, who is such a joyous individual, is just absolutely enthralling. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts over on Night Terror Superman issue 2? Did you enjoy Superman's battle over with the Super Reaper? And what were your thoughts over on Aquaman's inclusion in the issue? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for coming to check out our video over on Night Terror Superman 2, and we'll be back for Superman and DC Comics in the near future. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.